In this lecture, we're going to be talking about canvas settings. Now, canvas settings are going to vary a little bit from program to program. They're not going to be all exactly the same, but a lot of the general settings are going to hold true no matter what program you're in. So we're going to focus on those main basic ones. So in Procreate, I'm just going to create a custom size down here at the bottom. Okay, and these are the options it gives me. Now, in this course, these are really the only things we're going to worry about. So if you're in Photoshop, it's going to give you a whole lot more options than this, but we're not going to worry about those. For all you're going to need for this course as far as digital painting goes are these few options here. So width, which is how wide your canvas is, height, which is how high, DPI, which stands for dots per inch, meaning when you're printing this or if it's showing up on a screen, how many little dots of color or how many dots of pigment go in 1 inch of the image, okay? And then color, and then untitled, okay? And untitled is just the name of the canvas size. So for width, if we click on this, we should be able to adjust this. All right, here we go. So we have our pixels, and you can see down here we can change it from pixels, inches, centimeters, or millimeters. I typically go with inches so that I know how big this is going to be if I decide to print it. And because I'm in America and we use inches instead of centimeters, that's what I like to use, but you can use whatever you want. Pixels is going to be mostly if you're going to be using this for web. If you're planning on printing it though, you're going to want to pick either millimeters, centimeters, or inches, okay? So inches, I like to do 11 by 15, okay? And DPI, we click on that. I almost always do 300, but if it's going to be for web, you could get away with 150, but if you're going to be printing it, you want to be doing at least 300. Now, depending on what kind of software you're working with, that might put some strains on its capabilities, and you may need to lower it. Color, it's going to give us the options of, looks like we can only do RGB, which if you're doing it on Photoshop or anything else, I would stick with that. You could do CMYK if you're going to be printing it, but RGB is fine. Most computers and printers will, when they shift the colors to CMYK for print, they can keep it pretty much the same. So you don't need to worry about that. And in Procreate, if you noticed where it says maximum layers above these numbers, depending on how big you make your canvas, like let's say we make this 200, it's going to say that's too large. We can't even make it that big, right? If I do 11, that gives us 32 layers, but if I jump this up to say 25, we only have 11 layers. So that is something to keep in mind. The bigger you go, the less layers you'll be able to work with. Same with the DPI. If you go even higher on DPI, it will give you even less layers. So like I said, if you need to go a little bit lower to make sure you can get all your layers in, that's fine. But yeah, that's it for canvas settings. Those are just kind of the basics of what you need to know. For everything in this course, we're going to be working at 300 DPI with 11 by 15 inches. And I believe on every single lecture, that's the size and the DPI that I'm working at. So using RGB color, which if you don't know stands for red, green, blue. So that's it for this lecture. I'll see you guys in the next one.